I didn't really start thinking about literacy until I went to grad school. I mean, because I thought I was going to get a PhD in literature, and I never really thought about writing, but I did it really well, according to my teachers, in a very formulaic sort of way. And then I started playing around with creative writing at an early age, but that was my private writing. And so when I went to grad school in Detroit, I just knew I was going to be an 18th century literature scholar. I just knew it. 18th century. 18th. I wrote my undergrad thesis on Kenilworth. Beowulf, and then you had Kenilworth, and we never really studied Kenilworth. And we had in Kenilworth this woman warrior, and she was the person, or the image of this female person. I was just like, you know what? I actually think I'm not going to do that in particular, but I want to do 18th century literature. So I went to grad school, never took a course in 18th century lit. And I got accepted into this MA PhD program at Wayne State, and I wrote my statement about 18th century lit and why I want to do this and why you should accept me. In my first semester there, I took a comp ret course.
Wow.
And I was just like, what the hell is this? I mean, we're talking about writing, and we're talking actually about these theories and approaches and practices to writing, and I don't have to look at literature in order to talk about writing and to do writing. I was like, what are you doing? What? And then someone mentioned, African American discourse. What? That's just what we do. That's who we are. And so it's just really interesting that I didn't even think about literacy outside of literature until grad school, and never took a course in 18th century lit. Did everything in Ret Comp. And it was the most liberating experience that I've ever had, in terms of, I didn't have a role model, because so many of the people in grad school were some students of color, some white students, but mainly white professors. And I just said to myself, why are there so many white professors at this particular institution who are doing rhetoric and comp, but they seem to be so socially inclined and motivated, and they're conscious. And I was just like, wow. Now just imagine having this group of people who do this kind of work around literacy, and then having someone like me, a black woman from the South, coming in and saying, hey, we're going to mix some things up in here. And so I think if I'm going to really be honest and say my conscious awareness of my literacy practices, I think it would start at the realization that I didn't need to hide behind the literature in order to do the writing that I always did, but just didn't know how to name.